I'm going to make a pad. And what I want to do, I think I want to go into Splice and download a few one-shots and try and bring them into the noise oscillator. Let's see if we can find something. That one's nice. D sharp. Okay. Now they've got those samples. I'm just going to go through here in the noise oscillator. Let me put on pitch track and turn this up a bit. And I'll just try and find one that sounds nice. User Splice one shots. D sharp, so we'll bring that down. So next one, E, go down to 8. Let's put a compressor on this just to catch it because it's a bit loud. Maybe I'll smash the compressor so it gets that tail. Now let's bring the phase in a little bit so we skip that initial pluck. And maybe I'll bring this envelope up. Or actually, just because if I want to bring some more oscillators in, maybe I'll use... let's use a second envelope here. It's already just stock. And we'll bring the level down here. And I'll just give it a little bit of attack. Bring this release up. Let's put a bit of feedback on here. Bit more. I want the delay to come in stronger over time. So let's ramp it up. Maybe I'll let it ring out first. The actual sample for say half a bar. And then we'll bring the delay in. Let's see what it sounds like if it just comes in initially. Let's do this. Let's take a few of those highs off. Maybe let's add some width and with the hyper here. What I might do here as well, I might go into the matrix, apply Chaos 1 to the master tune, just to give it a bit of that detune wobble. It already sounds a bit detuned, but let's give it even more. Yeah. Okay, I might actually make a little rhythmic variation here. I might do the volume. I kind of want to make like almost like a wub sort of option that I can assign to the macro. So maybe let's do something like this. Put that on here. Envelope. We'll trigger it. And I might assign it to the volume and the filter as well. Let's do it. Let's just do quarter notes for now. And I'm going to assign this LFO here to the macro. Let's do macro 1. And what that's going to do is, let's call it wobble. All right, so what I've done here is I want this envelope here to be engaged when the wobble setting's down and off. So it just plays out. Maybe I'll turn this filter off so you can hear it for now. So it's just going to ring out as normal. But then as I turn this on, I want this envelope to disengage and I want this to engage. So you get that. So to do that, in the matrix here, I've set this LFO2. I'm using the macro. So when the macro is turned up, this wobble LFO is going to come on. It's going to start modulating this level control up and down. But I also want this, when this control goes up, I want this filter here, this envelope here to disengage. So I've set that aux source here to macro 1 as well, but I've set this to invert it. So it's basically going in the opposite direction. So where this one is turning this on, this macro is turning the noise level on, the LFO to the noise level on. This macro is simultaneously turning the envelope to the noise level off. So that way the envelope rings out normally, and as I turn this up, the envelope turns off, and now this turns on. Because if I didn't have that, let's say I had this turned off, what happens is this envelope's keeping that level when it's sustained up top, so it won't actually modulate. This LFO won't have any effect. As you can hear, turn it down, basically exactly the same. So set it to invert, set it to macro. It's a bit confused, a bit hard to word, but hopefully you get the idea. Okay. Actually, I might call this one rhythm. Let's call this rhythm. And now what I want to do is I also want that same filter to control the same LFO shape to control the cutoff as well. So I might bring this in, and I might assign this. Maybe what I'll do is I'll assign this macro to the mix. Call this filter. And I'll also assign LFO2. This assignment going to the cutoff. I'll use this in macro 2 as macro 2 as well. So now as I turn this filter up, the mix is going to come in and it's going to start modulating the cutoff in time with this. All right. Now what I might do is assign another one to the cutoff. I'll bring this all the way down. So cut off, and that way I can tweak whereabouts it is actually filtering from. That sounds pretty nice. Okay, so I'm going to actually assign this macro all the way down. So when the rhythm comes in, the delay itself isn't there. That's just the tail. Okay, now we're going to assign the rate control here to macro 4. Bring this down. Might bring this to about a bar. Triplet dotted. And now when I bring this up, it's going to bring the speed of that rhythm. There's one. Yeah, that's a bit better. A bit tighter. Okay, now what I might do, I might try and bring in another oscillator and just layer this sound up a bit. Square. Set this to here. I'll give it the exact same volume automation to keep it the same. And we'll do this as well. I need to go into the matrix here and do the same thing. So envelope 2 is going to be macro, was that macro 1? Yeah. Envelope 2, macro 1 here. Set this to inverted. And then this one will be macro 1 as well. I wonder if I'd copy this oscillator over here now. Might just experiment with widening it, see what that sounds like. Alright. I just want it to like evolve over time rather than just being straight the same tone every time it like wubs. So let's use another LFO here. Maybe I'll just use maybe just some light filtering. And I'll set this to off. And we'll just have it wobble back and forward. And then I might assign that to a few different parameters. That's a bit better. Let's try the phaser. Bring this down. And maybe I'll use a different LFO for this one. I want it to sweep through these frequencies. Give it a bit of resonance, a bit of drive. Let's go even slower. Maybe a little bit of reverb. Let's see what that sounds like. All right, let's bring in some drums. Might just copy these bass notes over. Alright, let's automate this in, see if we can find a sweet spot here with some sort of rhythm. Track, drums and effects. Okay, minimize that, take all that out, get rid of that. Might take the some of these top loop elements out. Let's try taking the hi-hat out. And instead of having this pad here rhythmic, I'll keep that for the second bit. And I'll just might just tweak it back to turn this rhythm off and just keep it as the pad. Is that bass at the start a little bit too aggressive too? Let me just try. Oop. Maybe I'll just try and tone it down a little bit. Thinking maybe add like a vocal here. Ooh, that might work. Let's try that one back in. Do I try and put something in here to build into this vocal? What if I take this vocal from the drop bit, maybe pitch it down and maybe just drown it out in some effects? See if that can work. Do I automate some arcade here? Maybe let's automate a bunch of these. Tape delay. Tape delay, mod verb. Let's try that. So I think what I want is that macro 3. Macro 2, I think, is the sort of filtering. Maybe we'd make it more dull. Yeah, let's just copy the whole drum loop over again, and we'll just maybe I'll drop out the clap for this bit. What can we put here? Maybe I'll take those same chords. Let's bring this up here, just organize it a bit quickly. Vocal 1. And now I'll name this up. And let me go into my presets here. I think there's a nice one that's a little bit more filtered. Let me see if I can find it. Ooh. That one sounds nice. Maybe I need to put a new bass in here. All right, that'll do. I'll give you a listen to the pads that we made. That's the one just using the splice sample in the noise oscillator, and here's the one when we added the square waves in. Ooh, nice. All right, sweet. I'll leave it there and I'll give it a playthrough now. Thanks for watching.